Hi, I'm Paul, and along with Matthew, we are making a pandemic diary of York. It's been announced which tier York will fall into after the second lockdown. England has been split into regions, and those regions in different tiers according to virus severity. York will be in tier 2. Amongst that, you must not socialise with anyone you do not live with or who is not in your support bubble in any indoor setting, whether at home or in a public place. Pubs and bars must close unless operating as restaurants. Hospitality venues can only serve alcohol with substantial meals. And there's various other rules around York. Large parts of West Yorkshire, South Yorkshire, East Yorkshire, Humberside fall into Zone 3. But York remains in Zone 2.
It was announced yesterday that York is going to be in Tier 2 from next week. What are your thoughts on that?
Expected it, and if it's what we need to do, then I'm happy for that to take place, yeah.
And what effect will it have on yourself?
Carry on working from home, not be able to see friends as much as I'd like to, apart from outside, which is fine when it's like this.
Yeah, we sort of thought we might be in Tier 1 because the numbers have gone down quite drastically, haven't they?
I'd rather be in Tier 1, but I'm very grateful we're not in Tier 3. Yeah. And although we can't meet in the house, my friend and I, Chris, for example, we've been out today for a lovely walk in York and really enjoyed it, haven't we, down the river?
Well, I'd prefer to be in Tier 1.
I think it'll be really nice to have everything open up a bit again. And even though it is still Tier 2 and it's high, I think it's still great that things are going to be reopening and actually have a bit more life in York again. So yeah, looking forward to it.
I think that people out of Tier 3 will come into York and we will get the virus back again. And we've already had the virus. I was ill for a week, my husband was 6 weeks ill, so we don't really want the figures to go up again in York, you know what I mean? So it's a bit scary.
Yeah, I think it is fair because I think it was very confusing before. It's more straightforward. Yeah, if it's on a bigger, area, then I think it is more. Yeah, it's more straightforward for people.
Where we live in Snaith, there's only 11 cases, but we've kind of been dragged into Tier 3 because we're in East Yorkshire and Hull. Hull's been really bad, but I mean Hull is 30 odd miles away, down the M62. So as I say, we've only got 11 cases, so you feel. We were Tier 1 before.
For some parts of the country I feel sorry for some of them, but in York I think I would have liked to be in Tier 1. I don't think we should be in Tier 2. I think it's mainly because at the moment we're bringing people in from Hull to be looked after in York, which Hull is in a different tier. And I think you should stay in the tier you're in rather than travel, do you know what I mean? So I think it would have been nice to be in Tier 1, but we just have to go with what the government says, don't we, and try and keep away from people.
I'm just trusting that they're looking at the data correctly and going along with what they've got to say.
So you live just outside the Tier 2 and just inside the Tier 3, essentially just outside York.
Yeah.
Do you think that's fair?
Well, it doesn't feel fair because you feel that you're being restricted when the area that you live is so low in cases.
Are there any other ways in which York being in Tier 2 will affect you?
Only in good ways, I think.
Yeah.
Positive from now. I don't think it will have.
I think it's definitely a step up.
We won't be able to see our daughter inside. That will affect us. Won't be able to see my parents inside. Probably my work, will be affected. Yours won't, will it? No.
Will you be using the pubs and restaurants for meals?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think we will.
think they have a nice range of restaurants.
It's not too fussed about pubs. It'll be nice to keep that quietness that York's had on a night from the rowdy younger people that are going home at 11 o'clock every night, so it's fine.
Pubs and restaurants, they're only allowed to be open in Tier 2 if they serve a substantial meal. How do you think about that?
Depends what they mean by a substantial meal, doesn't it?
Yeah, I would have thought anything that's cooked. Or lunch or dinner or something like that.
Personally, I can't wait to get back in the pub, but a substantial meal, would that be pork scratchings, peanuts. No, obviously
Fish
not.
and chips.
No, it'd be a 3-course meal, wouldn't it?
It's not going to work.
Is a hot dog a substantial meal?
I don't think it'll be a pork pie and a pint. But if you put chips with a meat pie,
It is.
then it's a substantial meal probably. Yeah.
If you want to have a beer or a glass of wine, then you have to have a substantial meal with it. Are you clear on what a substantial meal is?
No, hopefully chips just counts as enough, but we'll have to wait and see.
Not fast food, I suppose. Well, I don't know. I think fast food is counted as a substantial meal.
As part of Tier 2, pubs and restaurants, they can stay open as long as they're serving substantial meals. Will you be going into pubs and restaurants?
Well, I have a substantial appetite, and yes, if we're actually booked to go Christmas Day.
Have you got an opinion? Have you got an opinion, little man? No.